Upon binding the animal communication system, I established a live streaming room for pet communication. The debunking blogger pointed at a border collie and inquired, "What is it thinking?" After the communication, I was drenched in cold sweat. This was due to the fact that the border collie kept repeating three words: eliminate him. 1. Upon unexpectedly binding with the animal communication system, I discovered that I possess the ability to facilitate interspecies dialogue through the power of consciousness. The system informed me that I could accomplish communication tasks via live streaming, thereby earning a certain amount of points. These points could be exchanged for anything I desired, such as money. In pursuit of these points, I established a pet communication live stream. As a newly created account, my audience was merely a handful of viewers. Clearing my throat, I addressed them. "Hello everyone, welcome to the pet communication live stream. If you wish to communicate, please apply to connect." The first to request communication was a girl, who hesitated before asking, "Can you really communicate with pets?" I nodded affirmatively, saying, "I assure you, I am genuine. You need not pay if you are unsatisfied." However, the barrage of comments was overwhelmingly mocking, laughing so hard, claiming to communicate across species. "I could predict your lineage just by hearing you speak. Pet communication is merely a tax on intelligence. Do not be deceived." I clicked in. "And today's fraudsters have truly become creative. I've reported you." The girl, upon seeing the comments, grew even more uncertain. Just as she was about to disconnect, I hastily interjected, "If you doubt my abilities, I can offer you a complimentary consultation." At the mention of free, the girl's hand paused. There was potential. I continued, "Please direct the camera towards your pet and describe your concerns." The camera wobbled momentarily before focusing on a tabby cat hiding beneath the sofa. The girl's sweet voice emerged. "I don't understand why Mimi has been so temperamental lately. Whenever I approach, she hisses and puffs up. Once, she even scratched me. I've consulted several pet communicators, yet they charged me without providing any useful insights. I worry that Mimi might be unwell, but she doesn't allow me to get close enough to take her to the vet." As the girl drew nearer, the tabby cat immediately began to hiss menacingly. It crouched in the corner, its eyes gleaming with vigilance as it observed the girl. As she spoke, her voice began to quiver with emotion. The comments grew impatient. "Just speak already. Why are you crying? Will tears solve anything? Why is there such hostility in this chat? Can't one express sadness?" Hearing a woman cry is irritating. It's likely just a cat in heat. Such mood swings are common. The girl, noticing the comments, gritted her teeth and explained, "Mimi has been spayed. She can't be in heat." I empathized with her. Anyone would feel distraught if their pet suddenly turned aggressive after years of companionship. Without further ado, I initiated communication with the tabby cat. However, the revelations were beyond my expectations. I relayed to the girl, "It claims it is not your cat." 2. The girl was taken aback. "What? That's impossible." The comments erupted in ridicule. "I told you pet communication is a scam. I wasted a few minutes on this. The host is pretending to communicate with a cat. Today's frauds are truly diverse. Miss, please disconnect. Be wary of falling for this scheme." Regardless of their skepticism, I genuinely heard the tabby convey that it did not recognize the girl before me. It described how it had been strolling down the street when the girl suddenly scooped it up. After a whirlwind of confusion, it found itself confined in a cage and taken to her home. I asked the girl, "Has your cat gone missing recently?" The girl, astonished, responded, "Yes, master." "How did you know?" "Mimi slipped out through the door a while ago, and I searched for an hour before finding her." "So that was the case." I continued, "You've mistaken it. This tabby is not your Mimi. It merely resembles her closely." The girl appeared increasingly incredulous. "No way, this is my Mimi. The same markings, the same size." I waved my hand dismissively. "If you doubt me, check its rear. Does it still have its 2 testicles? By the way, it says its name is Sang Biao, not Mimi." Though the comments continued to label me a fraud, witnessing the girl's astonishment began to sway some viewers. I feel like the host may have some insight. The girl never mentioned her cat was missing. Are you foolish? The host must have peeked at the girl's account. She posted a video about finding her lost cat. What kind of cat is named Sang Biao? The host must read too many novels, ha ha ha. The girl, still skeptical, offered Sang Biao a piece of freeze-dried food. Sang Biao turned to eat. As if comprehending my words, its tail raised high, revealing 2 furry testicles. It meowed in indignation. How humiliating. This is utterly disgraceful. 3. The girl, upon seeing this, realized she had indeed mistaken the cats. Mimi had been spayed over a year ago and could not possibly possess those testicles, in her haste. She had failed to compare them closely and had brought Sang Biao home instead. Since then, Sang Biao had been hiding in the shadows, which prevented the girl from noticing the discrepancy sooner. Thus, the two had coexisted in this mistaken arrangement for some time. Sang Biao meowed incessantly, lamenting the girl's act of abduction. The comments began to shift in tone. Oh my, there are indeed testicles. This is Sang Biao, not Mimi. The host is truly remarkable. It seems the host genuinely can communicate with pets. I'm starting to become a fan. Little Mimi, come here, and let Annie pet you, he he he. Yet, some remained unconvinced, suspecting the girl was a plant and that this entire scenario was a scripted performance. The girl spoke up on my behalf. I am not a plant. I just took another careful look. This cat's pattern resembles Mimi's, but is not identical. No wonder it has been trying to escape these past few days. Alas, it is my fault. I shall let it go now. With that, the girl quietly opened the door. Sang Biao darted out in a flash, disappearing. The girl wiped her tears, saying, "Thank you, master. Mimi must truly be lost." Watching her tearful expression, I felt a pang of sympathy. Yet, I could only communicate with the animals present. If they were lost, there was little I could do. I suggested the girl inquire around the neighborhood and post a lost cat notice. Perhaps someone might have seen Mimi. The girl nodded, preparing to end the connection. But suddenly, a meow emanated from outside. Sang Biao peeked its head through the door, meowing a few more times at the phone. The girl tilted her head in confusion. Master?
What is Sang Biao saying?
After our communication, my eyes lit up. It says it knows where Mimi is and to follow it. The girl immediately jumped up, forgetting to change her slippers, and hurriedly ran outside. Perhaps in her excitement, she forgot to turn off the live stream. Thus, I, along with a multitude of online viewers, watched as Sang Biao led the way, navigating through the back of the complex. My live stream suddenly surged with thousands of viewers.
Wow.
This is the first time I've seen a stray cat lead the way. The host really has something special. I'm so excited. Can we truly find out where Mimi is? If we do, I'll treat the host to a big beer. Can you all think logically? This is clearly fake. If a cat could lead the way, I'll perform a live stream eating my phone. The girl's camera continued to sway as she followed Sang Biao, who guided her through a maze, eventually arriving at a spot where discarded items were stored. As she pushed aside some boards, a cat that closely resembled Sang Biao lay inside, barely clinging to life. The girl called out Mimi, and the cat instantly perked up its tail, stumbling toward her. Embracing Mimi, the girl wept uncontrollably, continuously expressing her gratitude to me. I urged her to take Mimi to the vet immediately. The girl hastily disconnected the call. I told you the host is a genuine pet communicator. Master, I bow to you. Sang Biao is truly a wonderful cat, emotionally stable and ready to converse. Pet owners cannot bear to see cats suffer. I hope Mimi is okay. What about that person who said they'd eat their phone? Come on, let us see live stream now. However, there are those who insist that this is merely a scripted performance I have orchestrated for the sake of gaining attention. I remain indifferent to their claims, for the system has just notified me of the successful completion of my task, granting me a reward of 1,000 points. Each point equates to $1. With a single live broadcast, I stand to profit $1,000. My lips involuntarily quiver with excitement. Following this broadcast, my fanbase skyrocketed to over 1,000, and the number of likes in the chat surpassed 10,000. A multitude of connection requests flooded in, eager for dialogue with me. My smile, which was already elevated, became even more pronounced. Someone showered me with virtual sports cars and then sent a connection request. Upon acceptance, I was taken aback to discover that the sender was none other than a pet influencer with 1 million followers, known as Xiao Ding Ding. Greetings, esteemed master. It seems you truly possess the ability to communicate with pets. Your methods are quite advanced. Though this remark unsettled me, I maintained a smile as I responded, indeed. What would you like to discuss? Xiao Ding Ding produced a Border Collie and inquired, since you are so skilled, could you tell me what it is thinking? I began to converse with the Border Collie, but this time, the outcome sent chills down my spine. The dog incessantly repeated 3 words. Kill him.
Kill him. Kill him.
The barrage of comments erupted in laughter. I felt a wave of dread wash over me, my hair standing on end. At a loss for words, I found myself momentarily frozen, observing my predicament. Xiao Dingdang smirked, relishing the spectacle. Her fans flocked to my live stream, eagerly anticipating the unfolding drama. Isn't the host supposed to be a pet communicator? Can they not even manage the simplest of dog communications? What Xiao Dingdang despises the most are frauds like you. Indeed, Xiao Dingdang delights in exposing pet communicators, reveling in their embarrassment. It's utterly delightful to witness the host's pallor. What a pity! The host's career as a fraud is doomed on their very first day of broadcasting. So a debunker has come to disrupt the scene. I casually searched for Xiao Dingdang and discovered that she consistently utilized this border collie to debunk others, regardless of the claims made. She would swiftly find evidence to disprove them. I had to admit, her debunking skills were quite adept. In an effort to clarify the situation, I attempted to communicate with the border collie once more. It ceased its repetitive mantra, but refused to divulge any information. I had no choice but to inform Xiao Dingdang. Your dog refuses to communicate. Upon hearing this, Xiao Dingdang erupted in laughter. The comments began to mock me. I see the host is undoubtedly a fraud. Can a dog truly refuse to communicate? So, you are a scammer after all. I was foolish to believe you could speak on their behalf. Yes, everyone should hurry and switch their allegiance to Xiao Dingdang. He is a paragon of kindness and beauty. It is entirely normal for a pet to refuse communication, especially a highly intelligent breed like the Border Collie, which possesses its own thoughts. I was about to explain, but suddenly, I caught a strange sound. He hasn't noticed us. Hurry and chew through the socket. Expose the copper wire. No problem. I guarantee that one touch will send him to his demise. The Border Collie had stealthily crept behind Xiao Dingdang, conspiring with another dog near the socket, one obstructing the view while the other busily worked. This scene appeared exceedingly bizarre to anyone who witnessed it. I kindly warned Xiao Dingdang, your dog is plotting to cause your accidental electrocution. Please exercise caution. Upon hearing this, Xiao Dingdang grew irate. Are you a communicator or a charlatan? Cursing me to death? You are undoubtedly a fraud. The comments began to lean heavily against me. This is hilarious. Dogs can talk? They tell you they want to kill someone? This is the best joke I've heard this year. Exactly. The host can fool us, but they shouldn't truly deceive themselves. Who doesn't know that Xiao Dingdang's dogs are the most intelligent and obedient? How could they ever harm their owner? Xiao Dingdang summoned both dogs to the forefront, revealing a Border Collie and a Shiba Inu. He roughly petted their heads, even sticking his hand into the dogs' mouths as a demonstration.
See?
My dogs could never harm me. I rescued them from a dog meat restaurant. As the number of viewers swelled, Xiao Dingdang seized the opportunity to recount the tale of how he had encountered these 2 dogs. While passing by a restaurant, I heard the agonizing cries of dogs. It was as if some voice compelled me to investigate. I felt an inexplicable urge to enter, and there I found Xiao Bian and Xiao Chai caged and battered. The owner of the dog meat restaurant was preparing to stew them for his guests. I spent 2,000 yuan to buy their freedom, and since then, Xiao Bian and Xiao Chai have never left my side. I love them dearly. If anyone doubts, you can view the videos I've recorded. The comments began to praise Xiao Dingdang. I've seen the video. The dog meat restaurant owner refused to release the dogs, but the influencer cleverly rescued them. Had it not been for Xiao Dingdang, Xiao Bian and Xiao Chai would have been consumed. No wonder you have 1 million followers. You truly deserve it. Yet, 2 comments stood out as discordant. Why do I feel like those 2 dogs' expressions turned even more sinister upon hearing this? I saw it too. The dogs' expressions were almost human-like. It gave me goosebumps. I also noticed a cunning glint flashed across the Border Collie's face, while the Shiba Inu displayed unmistakable disdain. My instincts warned me that the situation was far from what Xiao Dingdang had described. The previous remarks had garnered Xiao Dingdang yet another wave of followers. As he basked in the admiration of his fans, the 2 dogs resumed their scheming. There's barely any socket left to chew. It's all this host's fault for stirring up trouble. Do they really understand our speech? It must be that your actions were too conspicuous for them to notice. I'll provide cover while you continue chewing. After they finish the broadcast, they'll come to check the socket, and then, next. The border collie leaped into Xiao Dingdang's embrace, enthusiastically licking his face. Several times, when licking his neck, the border collie revealed its teeth as if intending to bite, but quickly retracted. The Shiba Inu gradually retreated, positioning itself near the socket, bowing its head to busy itself. This is bad. These two dogs are genuinely plotting murder. I wanted to alert Xiao Dingdang, but the border collie effectively blocked the camera, capturing Xiao Dingdang's full attention. A look of impatience began to creep across Xiao Dingdang's face as he pushed the border collie away. The dog jumped back up. He pushed it down again. And the border collie leaped back up once more. After several repetitions, Xiao Dingdang lost his temper. He delivered a forceful shove to the border collie, dragging the dog out of sight of the camera, whispering a threat, "If you do that again, I will kill you." Despite his hushed tone, the audience could hear him clearly. "Did you hear that? Xiao Dingdang just said he would kill you?" "I heard. How terrifying. Isn't he supposed to be a pet lover? How could he utter such words? The person above has probably never owned a dog. He's just saying that. He wouldn't actually kill it." The border collie whimpered softly, signaling submission. At that moment, the Shiba Inu completed its task. Upon seeing the comments, Xiao Dingdang wore an awkward expression before smiling and bringing the border collie back, explaining, "I was merely trying to scare it. I wouldn't truly do that. Now, let's continue with the pet communication." He squinted at me and said, "Since you claim you heard Xiao Bian plotting my demise, could you inquire further about what else he said? Or perhaps you should voluntarily declare yourself a fraud and apologize. And I might overlook your previous disrespect." He crossed his legs, eagerly awaiting the unfolding drama. I understood that he did not believe my words. His mind was solely set on finding a flaw to expose me, hoping to gain more followers. Unbeknownst to him, he would perish from electrocution shortly after signing off. It is difficult to dissuade a ghost intent on dying. Since he yearned to uncover the true thoughts of the border collie, I would, out of benevolence, grant him his final wish. 7. After allowing the border collie a moment to regain its composure, I re-established communication with it. I sought to understand why they wished to harm their owner. Upon hearing the border collie's venomous recounting, I fell into a long silence. Eventually, I said, "Lil Bien tells me that you have been abusing them." The face of Xiao Dingdang revealed shock. He attempted to interject, but I did not afford him the opportunity. Little Bien also mentioned that they were not rescued from a dog meat shop as you claimed. This entire scenario was orchestrated by you. You deliberately ran over Little Bien and Little Chai, transporting them to the dog meat shop to stage a heroic rescue in order to garner followers. Afterward, you repeatedly inflicted injuries upon them under the pretense of treatment for an entire year. You profited immensely, while they sustained fresh injuries atop their old wounds, forever left with lingering ailments and not many years to live. This includes the other pets you keep. You continuously mistreat them to film the videos you desire for greater visibility. Initially, Xiao Dingdang erupted in curses, threatening to unleash online violence upon me. However, after I finished speaking, he slumped into his chair, disconnecting the call. His actions served as proof that my words were indeed true. The barrage of comments erupted. Is this real? Is Xiao Dingdang going to fall from grace? The hostess claims are detailed. I almost believe it. Those two dogs indeed underwent treatment for a year, each time with new wounds. Xiao Dingdang even organized fundraisers for them. What the hell? I donated too. It was all a lie. I'm going to unleash online violence against him. No one can stop me. I desperately wished all of this were false.
Yet,
the scars upon the border collie and the Shiba Inu bore testament to the grim truth. After absorbing the border collie's account, a weight settled heavily upon my heart. With no desire to continue the broadcast, I hastily signed off. The following morning, a trending topic surged to the top of the charts. Internet celebrity Xiao Dingdang tragically died from electrocution last night. I sighed. I had warned him, but he did not heed my advice. However, such a scoundrel's demise was no great loss. Just as I contemplated returning to sleep, I received a call from the police. 8. Due to Xiao Dingdang having connected with me before his death, the authorities required a routine inquiry. How did you know Lu Dang would die from electrocution? Because I noticed the exposed copper wires in his outlet and warned him, but he did not believe me. But during your live stream, you mentioned that his dogs were plotting to cause his accidental electrocution. I merely fabricated that for the sake of my persona. As you know, Pet communication relies on psychological manipulation. If there were chips behind him, I would claim his dog desired chips. If there were a dog cage, I would say the dog disliked being confined. However, I did not anticipate that he would indeed perish from electrocution. After the police questioned me 3 times, they concluded that I had merely experienced a fortuitous premonition of Lu Dang's death. Upon exiting the police station, I beheld Little Bien and Little Chai waiting at the entrance. The officers informed me that after Lu Dang's death, these 2 dogs had been abandoned. Yet they displayed remarkable intelligence by finding their way to the police station and refusing to leave. Regrettably, due to their injuries, they could not serve as police dogs. I crouched down and asked them, "Would you like to come home with me?" Little Chai immediately agreed. However, Little Bien hesitated for a considerable time and did not respond. Little Chai excitedly circled around Little Bien, exclaiming, "Brother." I knew he could understand us, but he didn't expose us. He is a good person. Brother. He truly is a good person. You must believe me. Brother, my instincts are always right. Enough, you are quite noisy. Thus, I gained 2 companions. No longer living in solitude. Later, I received a private message from the girl who had been my first connection. She informed me that Mimi had sustained severe injuries in the wild and had not survived the night. Sang Biao, for reasons unknown, had changed his demeanor, becoming fond of staying close to her and even residing in her home for companionship. The news of Mimi's passing saddened me deeply. I hoped that Sang Biao could help alleviate her inner turmoil. 9. The story of Xiao Dingding. Abuse of dogs erupted online, gradually bringing me into the public eye. After several days of streaming, my follower count surged by hundreds of thousands, with each broadcast placing me at the top of the regional charts. On this day, as I streamed in my usual manner, someone began showering me with numerous carnival gifts, eager to cut in for a connection. Faced with such an extravagant patron, I promptly accepted the request. However, the individual donned a watermelon filter, refusing to reveal their face. Their voice was also altered by a voice changer. Before I could pose my questions, they anxiously exclaimed, "Master, I think I've encountered a ghost." This statement caught me off guard, leaving me somewhat bewildered. The viewers in the chat shared the same confusion. ISN, this a pet communication livestream? Mysterious watermelon lady, if you've encountered a ghost, you should consult a spirit master. It's the 21st century. How can anyone still believe in supernatural nonsense? I feel like this person might be mentally unstable. Perhaps the host should disconnect the call. In accordance with my professional decorum, I began to explain, "I'm sorry, ma'am, but I can only communicate with animals. I do not exorcise spirits." The individual appeared somewhat embarrassed and replied, "It's not me who encountered a ghost. It's my cat. It has run into a ghost."
Now.
I was also at a loss. Before I could react, she continued speaking. "My cat has recently been refusing to eat or drink. I thought it was ill. So I took it to the vet, but the doctor informed me that it is in perfect health. With undigested food still in its stomach, there is no indication it hasn't been eating or drinking." I inquired, "Perhaps it has been sneaking food elsewhere?" The watermelon lady shook her head. "That's impossible. I've hidden all the food in the house and haven't allowed it outside. Yet the doctor insists it is well-fed and healthy. The strangest part is that it often huffs at empty spaces in the middle of the night, which gives me the creeps. Master, please ask it what is wrong. Is it seeing ghosts?" The viewers, too, were curious, urging me to hasten the communication with the cat. I nodded in agreement. This was a scenario I had never encountered before. If I could resolve the issue, perhaps I could gain more followers. The camera focused on a sleek, pitch-black cat with heterochromatic eyes. Its fur gleamed with health, indicating it had been well fed. After our communication, I was taken aback. After a moment of internal struggle, I decided to convey the truth to her. "Your cat says that you are going to die soon."
10.
This illogical statement rendered everyone silent. I, too, was curious as to why the black cat would abruptly proclaim that its owner was destined to die. What connection did this have to its refusal to eat or drink? "Host, I know you possess great abilities, but you cannot curse someone like that." "Miss, do not be afraid. Cats often confuse illness with death. Perhaps you are merely unwell, and it is worried about you, which is why it's not eating or drinking." Yes, that must be it. However, I shook my head. "No, it is indeed speaking of death. You're going to die." The watermelon lady grew furious. "Are you out of your mind? You're the one who is going to die. You're clearly a fraud. Her agitation caused the watermelon filter to momentarily falter. The chat erupted. What the hell? It's Lin Ruixin. The one and only, the award-winning actress Lin Ruixin. She just won the Golden Horse Award.
It shows Xin Bao.
Host, hurry and apologize to Xian Bao, or we will cancel you. Upon being recognized, Lin Ruixin promptly disabled the filter. The chat room surged with excitement, with tens of thousands of viewers flooding in. Witnessing the audience rally towards Lin Ruixin, demanding my apology, I felt a growing dissatisfaction. I did not lie. I wished to communicate with your cat once more. Though Lin Ruixin was somewhat irked, she nonetheless directed the camera towards the black cat. To my astonishment, I heard the black cat utter, "Could you please ask her to refrain from luring children home? I can no longer stomach it." I was taken aback. Lure? Children? Stomach? This was clearly in Chinese, yet when combined, I found myself utterly perplexed. Tentatively, I inquired, "May I ask if there are any children in your home? Or perhaps childlike dolls?" Lin Ruixin appeared puzzled by my question and furrowed her brow in response, "No." The online community also deemed my inquiry somewhat intrusive, promptly condemning me. "Aren't you a pet communicator? Why are you asking if she has children? Do you intend to switch careers to become a tabloid journalist? Indeed, our Xin is still single. Your question is far too intrusive. Can the host please focus on communicating with the cat and stop prying into her privacy?" I ignored the barrage of comments, instead fixating intently on the black cat that Lin Ruixin owned. The black cat, no, it had another name, Xian Mao. This particular Xian Mao possessed heterochromia. Perhaps it truly perceived things beyond our ken. I had often heard tales of celebrities in the entertainment industry resorting to unscrupulous means to gain fame, nurturing spirit children, and offering tribute to fox spirits, among other practices. Lin Ruixin, a rising star, had rapidly ascended to prominence. Reflecting on it, her rise to fame was astonishingly swift. With a single drama, she had captured the public's attention, followed by a continuous stream of film and television roles, ultimately winning the Golden Horse Award for Best Actress in just 2 years. Coupled with the peculiar behavior of Xian Mao, the conclusion seemed all too apparent. Yet, regardless of whether she truly had a spirit child, such matters were beyond my purview. My role was merely to facilitate pet communication. Thus, I relayed the cat's messages to her. "I apologize. My expertise lies solely in pet communication. Your cat has informed me that it consumes the children you bring home daily, which is why it appears to be sated without eating or drinking. It also mentioned that you possess enough already. It is time to rid yourself of that entity, or you shall suffer its backlash." Upon hearing this, Lin Ruixin's eyes widened in disbelief. "What nonsense are you spouting? What do you mean by that entity and ghost children? Don't think you can fabricate rumors just because we are separated by the internet." It was evident that my words struck a nerve, igniting her anger. However, her fans did not share her sentiment. "Host, spreading rumors can lead to legal repercussions. Support Xin in suing for defamation. Who does she think she is?" I always thought the host was a person of integrity. I never imagined she would turn out to be a hater of Xin. Reported. "I suspect her pet communication is a sham, merely exploiting public psychology. It is only natural that she has now faced a backlash." Notifications of complaints flooded in from the back end. I shrugged. "Since you do not believe me, then take care of yourself." With that, I ended the call. The viewers in the live stream were engaged in fervent discussion. Some speculated that I was merely putting on a show to frighten Lin Ruixin, while others believed my words held truth, suggesting she might truly be encountering ghosts. Following Lin Ruixin's outburst, no one else sought to connect for communication. I decided to conclude the broadcast and grant myself a few days of respite. A few days later, I was roused from slumber by a knock on my door. Xiao Bian and Xiao Chai immediately sprang up, growling at the door as if sensing something unsettling outside. I rose to open the door, only to find Lin Ruixin standing there. However, she appeared quite different from her demeanor during the live broadcast. Her eyes were clouded, dark circles under her eyes, and she leaned heavily on a cane, her entire being seemingly worn and haggard. Upon entering, she grasped my hand, tears glistening in her eyes. "Master, please save me. I should have heeded your advice and dealt with that ghostly entity earlier. Perhaps I wouldn't have ended up in this state." She cautiously glanced around, ensuring no one was present before stepping further into my home and closing the door. Initially, I was just an obscure actress, playing minor roles in the theater. I was unwilling to let my life drift aimlessly, so I sought out a spirit child in Thailand. My spirit child was remarkably powerful. Within 2 years, it elevated me to the position of Best Actress. However, it seemed different from other spirit children. It demanded no sacrifices from me and would procure sustenance on its own. It wasn't until Xiaohei bared its teeth at the air, claiming I was bringing home many children, that I realized it required the souls of children to thrive. At that moment, her pride swelled, reveling in the notion that she could reap rewards without any cost. Yet recently, she had begun to suffer from fevers and frequent hospital visits. Gradually, a series of unfortunate events plagued her. At home, vases would inexplicably tumble from heights, nearly striking her. She would trip over unseen obstacles on the smooth floor. Just days prior, while filming, the harness she was secured with suddenly snapped, causing her to fall and fracture her leg. Only then did she grasp the truth of my warnings regarding repercussions. Then you must find a way to eliminate that entity. Rather than seek my aid, I advised. Lin Ruixin shook her head in resignation. I've tried. I discarded it, yet it always returns to its place the next day. I cannot rid myself of it. Master, please help me. I shook my head. How can I assist you? My skills lie in communicating with animals, not in exorcising spirits. You should consult a Taoist or another professional. I have already engaged a master. He said I need the assistance of Xian Mao, but they cannot communicate with each other. Master, I know you truly possess the ability to communicate with animals. Please help me, and I will offer you this amount. As she spoke, Lin Ruixin raised her fingers. 7 figures. Being an actress must indeed be lucrative. I acquiesced. That very day, we set off in a vehicle to Lin Ruixin's villa. Upon entering, I spotted Xian Mao sitting regally at the entrance, grooming its front paws. You've arrived. Follow me. It spoke in a low tone, leaping down and leading us to the living room. The space was filled with an assortment of peculiar individuals, Taoists, monks, shamans, and even those accompanied by ferrets. Lin Ruixin was indeed extravagantly wealthy, yet equally fearful. The monk stated that this was no ordinary spirit child, but rather a human spirit child, born from the souls of deceased children. However, its soul had not been entirely purified, resulting in its own consciousness and a heavy sense of resentment. The villa was now teeming with vengeful spirits it had brought back, its true form hidden among them, rendering identification difficult. Xian Mao seemed capable of discerning its true form's location, yet it refused to cooperate. They hoped I could communicate with Xian Mao to ascertain the spirit child's whereabouts. Upon learning that the villa was filled with the vengeful spirits of deceased children, I felt a chill run down my spine. I pinched my palm to steady myself and began to converse with Xian Mao. I asked about the spirit child's location, but it replied, I do not know. Initially, I could see it, but the number of vengeful spirits that returned with Xinxin is overwhelming. They constantly seek to harm her. In my efforts to protect her, I've swallowed many vengeful spirits, and now they are invading my body, obscuring my vision. However, the last time I encountered the spirit child was in Xinxin's bedroom on the 2nd floor. After relaying this information, a heavy silence enveloped the room. Lin Ruixin, impatient, lit a cigarette and exhaled smoke. Tsh, useless beings. I don't care what methods you employ. You must eliminate this spirit child today. After all, you have received my payment. Her arrogance irked some, who murmured their discontent. Just as the shaman threatened to quit and leave the villa, all the windows and doors slammed shut with a resounding bang. The spirit child appeared at the top of the staircase on the 2nd floor, grinning ominously before vanishing from sight. It seemed we were not leaving today. Everyone unanimously decided to ascend to the 2nd floor. The skilled individuals began to showcase their talents as they climbed the stairs. I picked up Xian Mao and followed closely behind. Establishing a mental connection with Xian Mao, its voice resonated in my mind. You need not concern yourself with me. You have consumed so many vengeful spirits from the ancient child, preventing it from devouring its master. It will not spare you. The mysterious cat ceased to argue and obediently nestled in my embrace. I followed closely behind the monk, vigilantly scanning our surroundings for any suspicious signs. Suddenly, the person at the end of our line stumbled, tumbling straight down the spiral staircase. They lay on the ground, wailing incessantly. Just as we reached the 2nd floor, Another individual was struck on the back of the head by a suddenly airborne vase and lost consciousness. Then a series of various accidents ensued. By the time we arrived in front of the bedroom on the second floor, only the monk, Lin Ruixin, and I remained of our group.
Get down.
The voice of the mysterious cat echoed, prompting me to hurriedly drop to the floor. I witnessed an axe hurtling past my head at an alarming speed. I dared not contemplate the consequences had it struck me. Even if I survived, I would certainly be left gravely injured. Lin Ruixin was already pale with fright, tears streaming down her face, her nose a mess. She clutched the monk's robes, pleading with him to swiftly eliminate the ancient child. Yet the monk confessed he could not discern the child's whereabouts. Even armed, he could not harm it in the slightest. Did you see anything just now? I inquired of the mysterious cat. Not yet. I merely sensed danger instinctively, it replied. I sighed, wishing the mysterious cat could regain its sight. Wait a moment. I still possess a system. Perhaps it holds the solution. System, do you have anything that can restore sight? Host, there is a potion that can temporarily restore vision for 1 hour, but it requires 100,000 points. I wish to exchange for it. Host, your account only has 100,000 points, which can be exchanged for 100,000 cash. Are you certain you wish to redeem this potion? Absolutely. Once the potion was in my hands, I cradled it and allowed the mysterious cat to lick it. In no time, its sight was restored, enabling it to identify the true location of the ancient child. I leaned close to the monk's ear and whispered the location to him. The monk rose and headed downstairs, while Lin Ruixin and I concealed ourselves at the staircase. Be careful. Before I could react, I saw the mysterious cat leap backward, entangling itself with the suddenly appearing ancient child. Lin Ruixin, startled, lost her footing and tumbled down the stairs. It turned out the ancient child had intentionally created an illusion of itself on the first floor to divert the only threat, the monk. It then hid behind Lin Ruixin, seeking the opportune moment to strike, but was discovered by the mysterious cat. Seizing the weapon left behind by the monk, I timed my strike perfectly, delivering a fatal blow to the ancient child. It was slain, yet the mysterious cat sustained a grievous wound to its chest, blood pouring forth. It lay there, weak and fading, and with a frail voice implored me, "Please tell Xinshin. Mother can no longer protect you, but Mother will always love you." So that was the truth. After gently laying the mysterious cat down, I went downstairs to check on Lin Ruixin. She had merely suffered a bump to the head and lost consciousness, her life not in jeopardy. I took her to the hospital and conveyed the mysterious cat's last words to her. She clutched her face, sobbing uncontrollably. A month passed. Without the ancient child, Lin Ruixin was swiftly met with repercussions. She was discovered to have committed tax evasion and falsified her credentials, losing everything she had gained in a short span of time. No one noticed that the offhand comments of a pet communicator during a live broadcast had all come true, though the timing varied. I continued to run my pet communication livestream. Later, I encountered Mimi's owner once more. She was curious why Sangbiao's demeanor had suddenly changed and wished for me to communicate with him. Observing the once aloof Sangbiao now comfortably nestled in the girl's arms, I too was intrigued and smiled, asking him about it. Sangbiao replied, before Mimi passed. She wished for me to inherit her legacy, a human. I promised her that I would take good care of her.
The end.
Thank you for listening, and we shall meet again in the next story.